Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my full review on the Owl House Season 2 Episode 18 called Labyrinth Runners. And just how long was it ago? Like couple minutes? Like a couple minutes ago I just posted my mini review on this episode. So here I am with the full review. Anyway, let's see, was there anything I wanted to discuss before I get the review started? And I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, oh no! Well, you're probably not, oh no. But, even though most of you, like, don't mind this, I still feel like I should, like, apologize because I didn't realize, because when I get started talking, I just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk because I just have so much to say. And sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes I don't realize, because the review that I posted is almost an hour long. I'm like, why is that? Because for like 15 to 20 minutes is the intro, basically, before I actually get into the actual review. Like 15 or 16 minutes in, like almost 20 minutes. I was like, oh wow. I didn't think I had so much to say, but I guess I did. Anyway, so if you like that stuff, great. But I'm gonna try to keep the intro more short so we can get right into the review. But you know, if there's something important that needs to say in the intro, that I'm gonna say it. So I just need to make sure there isn't really anything. The Owl House Season 2 Episode 19, which is called what was it called? Oh Titan, where art thou? I believe that's what it's called. I need to double check. That review should be coming soon. I'm not sure how soon. Maybe I'll finish Big City Green Season 3A in the first half, and do the mid-season finale, and also the episode titles for the rest of Season 3. I'll do that, and then I'll do the Owl House Season 2 Episode 19. I think that will be the general idea, I believe. And plans do change, so I don't know, maybe I'll do episode 19 first. Who knows? Was there anything else besides episode 19 coming soon? My review, the episode already premiered, but my review should be coming soon. Oh, I just got a new subscriber just recently. When I posted my main review and I was putting like the description and making sure it's the correct thumbnail and stuff, and making sure the lighting's good, and at least trying to make it look good, sort of. It, like, when I had everything like set up and I was ready to post, and I was checking everything, I got one more subscriber, and now I'm at 133. And I think I forgot to mention this yesterday, but I was really tired while I was making the review. It was an hour-long review. I forgot to mention that I hope that I reached 135 before March, because we're in February. We're in February. Oh my goodness, we're in February. So that means I need to do my monthly update for February. So let's see, when am I gonna... Well, I don't have class Monday, but I am working on something important that needs to be number one priority. So, like, don't fully, like, expect a video that day. I need to get my stuff done. That's number one. Very, very, very important. Projects and stuff. So probably not Monday, but Tuesday I should do my monthly update, because I shouldn't delay that, because since we're still early February. Yeah, so Tuesday. Yeah. I would say Tuesday, that would be like the monthly update for February. I talk about like what the shows are going to review this month, which I won't spoil, even though you probably can like just guess, but yeah. So that'll be for Tuesday, and then Saturday and Sunday will just be, the rest of the Big City Dreams episodes, episode 9 and 10. And then the following Tuesday, that would be the episode titles, just to get that done. Just like, oh, let's speculate with the descriptions and the titles to see what's gonna come next for the second half of Big City Green season 3. That should be fun. So that will be on Tuesday, and then back to Saturday. Yeah, by that Saturday, by that point, episode 19, 20, my reviews, that should be ready. That should be ready, right? Yeah, that should be ready. And then after those two, it's episode 21, and boom, we're in the end game of season 2. But with that being said, is there anything else? Okay, episode 19, episode 20, Big City Green season 3A being finished up. The rest of the episode titles of Big City Green season 3. I reached 133 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I believe that's everything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I believe that's everything. So without further ado, let's get on with the review. And before we get to this trash can here with the tongue and stuff, we actually get to where do we start off? Where do we start off with? Okay. I remember. We actually start with a younger Gus. We're not sure how far we're going back. I would say, because I guess spoilers, basically this is where, in this flashback, this is where Gus actually meets Willow for the first time. And it's so adorable. I love it. And Willow, like, her voice, it reminds me of when, spoilers for a season 1 episode, I forgot, was it Understanding Willow, where Amity told Willow, like, I don't want to be friends with you because of her, her parents basically said, like, oh, you shouldn't be friends with her because, they're not good people, at least the mom, and the dad, sort of. But anyway, besides that, when Willow was basically talking to Amity, like, that same voice, it sounds really reminiscent of this voice we hear this episode. So I'm assuming it's the exact same age, or maybe like a little bit older, maybe a little bit younger, maybe. Wait, no, because in that episode, Understanding Willow, they said she won't go into Hexside, and she's already in Hexside, so that's obviously after. So she, like, I think the birthday, Willow was like 7. It was Amity's birthday, but I think she was like 7. So she's like 8, 9, 8, like 8 and a half. She's probably like 8, and since Gus is 2 years younger than her, he's 6. Does that make sense? Who knows? The numbers get mixed up. Anyway. So we basically have Gus, and he's doing an assignment, and it's like of the organs of, like, the Titan and stuff. You hear the heartbeat, like the heart. I'm like, oh, but hey, Gus, you did a good job. And she's like, oh, I'm so glad you because I was kind of worried that, like, you being so young, you weren't gonna make any friends, but you're certainly thriving. What's his full name? Augustus. And he said, oh yeah, I'm not sure the teacher had a name. The illusion teacher in Hexside. I'm not sure she had a name. Who knows? But it's Miss whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. And then we get to, like, the friend. It's like, oh, who is it? And he's like basically talking trash about Gus, but he didn't realize Gus was in the room. He's talking to this other kid, and he's saying, like, oh, just pretending to be his friend so he could do all the work since he's so smart. And Gus did, like, a spell to you make it, like, go away, to, like, dissipate or something. I'm not sure if I'm using that word right. Who knows? And he basically runs off crying, and he's like, oh, little buddy, come back. I didn't mean it. Yeah, get away from him. He's a bad dude. Not Gus, the other guy. And Gus basically goes, hides in the room, and says, oh man, I hope someone, like, comforts him or something. And he says, like, oh, why do I always get tricked? I'm part of the illusion coven. Yeah, you would kind of think you are part of the illusion coven. Sorry, not coven. He's not part of coven yet. The illusion track. You'd think it would be not mischievous, but more of a trickster and kind of do like illusion, like pranks and stuff like that, and be very. Do I want to say cunning? Maybe a little bit more cunning, but Gus isn't like that. I guess this is the new generation of illusions. I guess they're more, more like the nice guy. I guess. I mean, I guess it was gonna happen eventually. Anyway, not everyone's gonna be like Loki, but and I didn't I I didn't really like this too much. Maybe in my first watch, I was kind of thinking this is cool because I'm always trying to figure out about how this is happening to Gus. So when did this happen? When did this start? Was this like the first time that this happened, or is this like the second time? I was more like in that mode until I went to reviewer mode, and I was thinking I have an issue with it. But basically, a book falls into his head, and he was actually in the middle of a crisis, and something kind of, I would say, kind of caused him physical harm, and like a defense kind of came up. I guess that's the way I'm explaining it. And he basically created an illusion of putting himself down, like you're not good enough, and like oh this and that. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm a loser and stuff. And this is where we get an abomination, but it's like all bad and stuff. He's like, oh hello. I'm like, this cannot be Amity. If it is though, that's kind of weird. But no, it's Willow. Aw. And she's like, oh hey, like oh I know I'm really bad at abominations. That was really stupid. I'm sorry, but hey, I saw that you were upset. I heard someone in here. I wanted to see what was up. And you know, guys are like, oh, leave me alone. And Will's obviously like, oh, I'll leave if I'm bothering you, but are you talking to me? Because Gus is kind of looking at everybody's illusions around him, and he's like, he says all of you, and then Will just smiles, saying like, oh, it must be something, very, words. What do I want to say? It's something that's happening to him, like in his mind, basically. And Willow goes into illusion. I'm not sure if she can see her or not. That was never really addressed, but I guess, despite if she can or not, Willow. Oh, can the illusion see her? I mean, if Gus created the illusion, and if Gus can see her, I guess the illusions can see her also. I'm confusing myself. Anyway, I'm going too deep into the lore of illusions in this world, and because it's like, oh, because they actually not talk to Will, talk to Gus about Willow. It's like, oh, she's like an older kid because she's 2 years older than him. You better just do her homework already, like you know, to save the pain. And she's like, hey, my dad's taught me something to keep the inner voices away, the bad ones. And you're like, oh, just you know, just like you know, like and count count to 3. And Gus does it, and the illusion goes away, and they're like, oh, and so they they disappear, and he's like, oh, thank you so much. It's like, yeah, I deal with inner thoughts also, like more than you realize. Well, I wonder if that's gonna come back into play. And basically, he said, oh yeah, thank you, I really appreciate it. He's like, my name's Willow Park. Oh, Augustus Porter. And they shake hands and oh, that's how they became friends. Okay, but here's what I want to say. The his eyes glowing and the whole big illusion thing. Remember back in season 1 with Willow, and how her eyes glow green and the plants come out. I'm not sure if I said that I liked it when it first came out in episode 3 because I already thought that episode was a failure. Go watch my review on that. I just didn't like. I was a teenage abomination. There was this whole bunch of things. Gus was my favorite part in the episode. Gus and Edith for a bit. Those were my 2 favorite characters. But Gus was a bit of a hero, while Lucy and Willow were cheating and lying, and Amity was allowing for like a living thing to be dissected, and the principal was basically like evil also. Like there was a whole bunch of things, but Gus was a bit of a hero because like, if Amity, Willow, Principal Bump, and Luce is not going to move, and they're just going to let this living, breathing thing just die right in the spot in cold blood, me, as a moral person, I cannot just stand by and let that happen. Because even Willow asked, like, Luce in that episode, spoilers, from where she's like, hey, if I cut you open, will you be able to survive? Luce's like, no, I won't. And Gus is like, I can't let this happen. So he stops it, obviously, because Gus is a good guy. He should have gotten in trouble because he interfered with the principal along with Willow, but apparently didn't. So, I don't know. That episode was bad. But what was my point? Right, Willow, basically, her eyes glowed green, and throughout the season 1, I'm not sure it's season 2, but in season 1, her eyes glowed green, and basically plants would come out of the ground and kind of enhance her powers. I was kind of thinking, okay, is Half Witch Willow part of that? Is that like we never met her mom? Is that why her mom's like not in the picture or something? She has two dads, which is totally fine. But I'm thinking, did she have a mom, and her mom had a sort of problem with her magic with the plants and stuff? And does her mom eyes glow green also, or is this one of her dad's like trait coming to Willow or something? And that was never explained. But now Gus can do it too. And maybe in the comments you're gonna say, like, to make a point, maybe because Will was always under stress, and because of Gus, he's never been under stress until, because spoiler alert, the big illusion thing, the self pity thing, comes back into play because he's under stress from the I'll talk about the stressful situation in a bit, but there was a stressful situation, he had to get out of it, so the illusion came into play, which does make sense. Here's the thing though. What would you say in Agony of a Witch, the episode in season 1, when, spoiler alert, when basically Lucy's like has the healing hat to heal, Edith's curse? How she's like, oh, we'll escape the castle and we'll give it to Edith so she can heal it, and we'll bring it back to the castle and sneak out again, and no one will ever know it. And this is like one of my favorite moments in the episode where Belle's like, I'll know, and it was really creepy. You would think someone would freak out over that, and a perfect opportunity for Gus's eyes, or at least one of his eyes, to glow blue, kind of like as a self-defense, like kind of like, what's going on? And Lucy's like, oh, what was that? And Gus kind of immediately like kind of turns it off, saying, oh, it's nothing. They're like, don't worry about it. Wouldn't have been that pretty good foreshadowing? Because if the Emperor has that impact to kind of strike fear into your heart and your brain, so that would have been a great thing to come out. So, oh, Gus can do it too, and that would have been established in season 1 along with Willow in season 1. Sure, it's like later in season 1 and Willow will be early season 1, but it'll still be season 1 nonetheless. Like, you know what I mean? It just happens to be in this episode. Like, Gus can do it too. The thing that I thought was kind of special for Willow, Gus can do it also. I'm just kind of like, because there was a bunch of theories going around, like, oh, how does Willow doing this? Like, does that have something to do with Half Witch Willow? Does Basha know what's going on? Is that why she's targeting her? Is she targeting her because she finds Willow like threatening? Like she's gonna like not kill everybody, but like she's like, really dangerous. Like, what's going on? But now Gus can do it too. So, like, you know what I mean? But again, that could have been set up in Agony of a Witch. Like that moment, it's like, ooh, Gus can do some high magic. Some like extreme magic also. That's interesting. Again, just have a setup, but they kind of skipped it. At least with Willow, and again, I'm not sure if I liked it or not in episode 3 of season 1, but at least they gave like a setup for it. Kind of early on, saying Willow can do this. Gus they just showed it, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm losing my voice, but basically, we will basically calm the voices away, and they meet each other. Great. We, where do we get to? We get the principal bump, and harmonious bump, and the illusion teacher, the one that was talking to Gus in the flashback, and she's talking to Principal Bump, and Principal Bump's like, I never seen so many kids so interested in their education, because now we see people in multiple tracks now. We see Bartholomew, I'm going to call him Matthew, Matthew or Matt? No, sorry. His full name is Bartholomew, but I'm going to go by Matt, because Bartholomew is too long. So Matt. And he's still part of construction, but now he has blue, what would you call it? Sleeves. He has blue sleeves on his forearm, so now he's part of Illusions also. So Gus sort of inspired him to go into Illusions. That's pretty cool. That's dope. And we have Edric that's in 3. He is still in Illusions, but he's also in Beastkeeping and Potions. And that's pretty cool also. And we have Emra for Illusions and Healing. I really want a sequel for Edric and Emra. Like, because I really think that they really have much to offer. I would say their introduction in season 1 and episodes like after that, I was kind of thinking like, oh, okay, they can be side characters, but kind of progressing like later on, like maybe very end of season 2, kind of going to season, for the very end of season 1 going to season 2, I was kind of thinking, okay, now I want to spin off of them. Like I'm growing to love them. Like, I definitely have like like, ideas for like spin-offs. One for a young Ida series, one an Emerald Entrails series, because how cool would it be, Hunter, Willow, Gus, Scara, and Viney traveling all over the Boiling Isles and different islands also, and competing against different schools and exploring different islands. That would be so cool. And you can have those five as the main characters, because this story mainly is about Luce and also Amity having the like that character development and also developing feelings for Luce also. Um and since we kind of really already did that storyline, now it's time to focus on these characters. And the Ida Young series can be about Ida, Rain, Lilith, Darius, Alador, Odalia, Bosch's moms. I'm assuming those were for her moms from the flashback episode. And Gus's dad. Like, you can focus on those nine, but maybe not all, those nine, like, in one single time. But, like, kind of go back and forth with them. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, especially with that, since Principal Bump was actually the vice principal around that time, that'd be pretty cool to see like his like actual like duties are, and does Ida and his not friendship, because he kind of left on a bad spot when Ida left school. So like how did their bond grow over the time? So like that'd be pretty interesting to see. But besides of spin-offs. Because I was talking about Edric and Emma, so they're in different tracks, and Principal Bump's like saying, "Oh, I never seen students so excited about their education," and she's like, "Yeah, it's great." And then we have the head of the Illusion Covenant, like, "Oh, who's this guy? He has like a tail and stuff." Like, it's like, "Hey, I'm on business," and he has a seal of the Illusion Covenant, and Principal Bump, the teacher, is like, they're kind of worried, and this is where we're almost here. We're almost at the trash can. This is where we get to Gus, Willow, and Amity. And Amity has the Tamagotchi, or at least their version of a Tamagotchi. I already took a point off for basically, if you, I don't think I fully understand Tamagotchi, but what people have been saying of about Tamagotchis who used to like own one. A bunch of people have been saying that they don't work well long distance. So when Luce was at the Owl House and Amity, Ida, and King and Hunter were at the Knee, which is like a couple mountains away, it doesn't make sense how they were able to communicate with each other. It doesn't make sense. And now they're kind of doing it again with Amity at Hexside, and Luce remember she went on that trip with King and Hootie on the boat. So they don't know how many bodies of water they are away. Like, maybe she is pretty close, but why not come to Hexside? We don't really know what's going on. But I guess we had to get the information somehow. So I guess I'm not gonna take a point off because I already did it in the episode of Clips Lake, but I just need them. I just thought I should mention it. Anyway, so Amity was saying like, oh, like, I can't read everything because she's like texting so fast, but basically saying that I found some new information about King, and the day unity is bad, and the sigils are bad, and you please take care of yourselves at Hexside, and just here's something important: don't scare him away. And Amity's like, don't scare him away. Like, what does that mean? And then Gus wants to point out, like, hey, what about those hearts? And she's like, oh, those were for me. Okay. I mean, because Amity, Luce cares about Amity, so I want to make sure you're safe, and I care about you and stuff, and cool beans like that. Anyway, and Willow was basically saying that I wanted to check and see if there were any Eden and Lilith. I wanted to see if they were okay at the Owl House, but like there were just guards scouting the place, and I think a couple of them were raiding inside the house. So, like, and even Will said, I actually wanted to capture one to interrogate them. And this is where I'm going to take another point off, because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take a point off here, but it's where it's resolved is the issue. But because I was thinking of capturing one of them to interrogate, and Will was like, sorry. Willow said, I wanted to capture one to interrogate them, and then Amy said, "Oh, don't worry, Willow. Not everyone can stand up to them. They're really tough." Like, oh, I'm sorry. And then Will said, "I didn't want to draw any more attention to Luce, Ida, and King. That's why I met Amity." And Amity said, "Oh yeah, of course." And Amity leaves, and I like Gus. Gus is such a good friend. We say, "Hey, Willow, I know you like to bury your feelings, but you should, if this is really bothering you, you should really talk to Amity. You should say something, stand up for yourself." And Will's like, "I'm fine." Oh, okay, she's not fine. Oh, and it's like, oh, Amity and I just started to hang out a little bit more, not full blown, but like a little bit more. And I don't want to mess up what we have right now. And she has to get used to the new me. And Gus is like the real you, because Gus knew like the real Willow, like deep inside, behind all that shyness, like the true Willow's core. Gus knows it. I love that. And you know, Willow walks away, and here we go. We're finally at trash can. You know, we're here. So let me just wait for the thing to go away. Okay, so we're finally here. And Gus hears a rumble, and like in the trash can. They're like, "What's going on?" Like, and Flapjack. I was like, "Oh, did Hunter go to Hexa?" Remember that long intro that I did, and the previous episodes. Like, I should call that segment "Where Did Hunter Go?" That is basically what it was. And then Gus is like, "Hey, I remember you." And he goes on his staff and chases. I like this angle. Pretty cool. And the Paranoratorium closed for repairs. Was remembered the whole thing of the greater basilisk thing that trashed the place. It makes sense why they're rebuilding it. And Gus is, because Flapjack went away and hid. And Gus is like, "Oh, okay, who's here?" And Gus is like, and yep, Hunter's here. And he's in rags. How that mighty have fallen. And he's like, "What are you doing here, Golden Guard?" Because even though Gus is mostly kind of like he has the face of, "I'm ready to defend myself and defend my friends and family, but I really wish it wasn't Hunter." Because Gus knows that Hunter isn't a 100% bad guy, because he heard about the situation of Hunter letting Luce take away the talismans to like safety, and not letting them again absorbed by Bellos and stuff like that. Gus knows Hunter let Luce get away. And he probably also heard about the whole conversation between Amity and Hunter about the whole, like, they have a bunch in common about, like, about standards and stuff like that with the family and stuff like that. And also with Gus, he actually defended Gus along with the Emerald Entrails against Darius by saying, like, "Hey, they're not worthy to be part of the Ember's Coven, but basically, like, please don't put sigils on them," because, and Gus said, like, "Hey, please go, like, you shouldn't be here," and kind of, I don't say let them live, but like, they let them go. And Gus was kind of joking, saying that, like, "Oh, Hunter's not good at texting because, like, he's never done it before," and kind of made a comment like, "Oh, he's not as good as my dad," or something like that. And so Gus knows that Hunter isn't 100% of a bad guy, basically. So Gus is like, "If you're gonna hurt us, I'm ready to fight you, but I really wish it wasn't you." And then Hunter's still trying to be menacing. "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, rest assured, Gus." And Gus is like, "Hey, well, what's going on over here?" GrimWalker's extinction. The legend of GrimWalkers. Oh, buddy. And a bunch of Hex Mix because he has nothing else to eat. Our boy, he's trying to figure out who he is. Oh, man. Here's the situation, though, that I want to put in everyone's mind for a second. Like an idea. What if Hunter actually stayed at the Owl House? And the rest of the episode played the same, where Luce, King, and Hootie went on that trip. If Hunter was still at the Owl House, would Hunter go with Luce, King, and Hootie to figure out where King was, and they had a plan to, King's family can be like our army against Bellows? Or would Hunter stay with Ida and Love? Because he obviously won't stay in the Owl House because obviously the guards is surrounding there. So where would Gus go? In the comments below, if Hunter would say, would he go on the boat with Luce, King, and Hootie, or stay with Ida and Love? Where would Hunter go? I guess like to even it out, Hunter would stay with Ida and Love, since Hootie, King, and Luce is already 3 people. Kind of even it out. But Hunter could have gone with Luce, but I'm actually kind of interested. But he's been researching about GrimWalkers, and I guess they're extinct. So was this like a thing back in the old days? Was this like their way like of adoption or something? Saying like, oh hey, if you can't make a kid of your own, like here's a way to adopt a kid. Because they're just like you in every shape way or something. That's a kind of like a messed up way of adopting, but okay. Because if it's extinction, that means it must have been like a thing, right? Or am I interpreting that wrong? And Gus is basically saying like, hey, like what are you doing here, Hunter? Like, what are you doing here? And Hunter and Patrick trying to like, hey, come on, get that stupid hood off of you. He's like, okay, fine, I'll tell him. My my quarters has been compromised. Maybe I just need a place to crash temporarily. Hexside was the first place I thought of. Like, he said only place. Oh, so I was kind of thinking. So I guess Flapjack didn't like suggest like the Bat Queen probably. I was thinking would that come up, but I guess not. Which is fine. But I guess he didn't want to be a burden to Luce, Ida, and to Luce and Ida. He didn't want to be a burden to them. And he also didn't want to be burned to the Emerald Entrails also. Because he's been keeping in contact with them because he texted Willow that picture of Flapjack. He accidentally sent it to Luce, but he said, oh, oops, wrong person, sorry. So that was definitely to Willow. Because who else would it be to? But Gus is basically saying, oh, how cryptic of you. And basically Gus is like, hey, Hunter, if you don't mind me asking, do you know where Luce is? And then this is where Hunter, his not full blown, but his like older brother instincts kind of kick in, saying like, oh wait, she's like not with the Owlie. Like where did she go? And then this is where the morning announcements. Oh, I guess afternoon announcements since they were having lunch. And says, oh, students, come to the new auditorium, please. And I just want to play this right here.
I'm not sure what you're going through, but that much Hex Mix can't be good for your stomach.
That was sweet. It's just saying like, hey, all that Hex Mix, like, and also Flapjack was gonna get you a sandwich from the garbage. Like, no, dude, just have this, okay? And that was really nice. Like Gus gave Hunter his lunch, or extra lunch. Did Gus have lunch? Who knows? And so Gus basically runs off, and hey, cool, we get to see Viney. And Viney's like talking to Jerabo, saying that, hey, what's going on? And if you were kind of wondering like who I was talking about, the illusion teacher lady, it's her. And the principal bumps like, oh, students and teachers, I'd like to introduce, and we get this guy. And he said like, oh, Principal Bump, I don't deserve any accolades of any kind.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrian Gray, head witch of the Illusionist Coven. Unfortunately,
So, sorry, I don't want to play too much. Like, I didn't expect that like everyone kind of looking at each other and whispering. I didn't think that would be too long. I'm sorry. But Adrian Gray, and I like his design. The earring mirror. And he kind of hasn't shaven in a while. Like the tail. pretty cool. I like his blue hair. Pretty cool. And he's like, oh, my name's Adrian Gray. I'm the head witch of the Illusion Coven, and I'm not here with good news. Since the day of Unity, the day of Unity is coming in a few days. Because remember, how long was Luce on that trip on the boat? It's coming in a few days. Like he says, it's gonna be in a few days. Bells is now cracking down on now the students. He dealt with the citizens of that were dealing with wild magic, and they're either petrified or they've been stated into a coven basically, and now they got sigils. Now Bells wants us to us head witches to get the students to join a coven now. Like, even though you're not of age yet, since it's the day of Unity and everyone needs to be part of the Titan, you need to be brought in. And everyone was like, oh, and this is what I was talking about with Matt, and he's like, oh, this is a Mother Titan, and he ripped off his sleeves because he was really excited. And like, hey, look, Etric and Amara, pretty cool. You see how I was saying that they're in different colors now. And the principal was like, hey, don't worry, Head Witch Gray, supports us. Like, don't worry. And he has an idea of using illusions to cover up of like fake sigils. And Matt just puts his sleeves back on like nothing happened. Okay. This is interesting. Why is the Oracle teacher suggesting Edric to go first? Why Edric? And I did like a mini review, could kind of saying like, is he like the protege of this guy since he's also part of Illusions? But why not M? That's kind of weird. And he basically saying like, oh, is this safe? Like, I just started my track, on the multi track. And he's like, don't worry, like these will be harmless and they're just illusions. So don't worry, they can't hurt you. Okay, like, hey, all right, don't move. And Gus notices something, and he notices like, oh no. And I want to play this right here.
Don't trust him. He's hiding behind an illusion.
I thought that was really cool. That Gus was able to use like an illusion blast to take off the illusion. And yeah, it was a Coven Scout because he said, oh, we'll do this before the Coven Scouts come. And Edric obviously pulled away. I'm glad the teachers are defending their students. I love that. Thank you. And yeah, Edric got bamboozled. Like, you're the illusion track, man. Like, how did you not notice? I guess since Gus is like a prodigy at illusions and not Edric, it kind of makes sense why Gus would like know it. But isn't this like illusion like 101 to like know if someone's hiding behind an illusion, right? Maybe this world's illusion 101 is different. Who knows? And basically, the real Adrian Gray is like cut to just cut, and he's like a theater guy. I still like his outfit, pretty cool. But he's in a director's chair. He has a coffee, and he's like, "Oh, like you were, like you know." He's like, "What?" I'm not sure if I like this stereotype anymore. But here's the thing: every sort of media that would go for like the theater kid always like does this, unless like the whole show is about like theater. Then you will actually get like the real definition like of actual theater and what's going on, and like the true heart of theater. This is basically like, oh, don't you hate it when the directors always say like you're doing something wrong, and you cannot figure out what, because he truly knows it, and he says, wait, I don't understand what you're talking about, sir. Oh, you'll figure it out. Not if you don't give the good direction. I'm not gonna get into it because I was into acting. I just didn't. I had good directors when I was in plays. I had good directors, so it's kind of sad to see this. But I have heard like a lot of people, not in my acting career because it was like in middle school and high school, but people have been saying like, oh, I had like a director like this. So I guess like they are real. So I guess, but I never had that experience. So I should be grateful. But he's like, oh, like your illusion of Adrian, that last line is kind of, He's like, I don't understand. Oh, you'll figure it out. And he just grabs Gus. Like, oh, that was one show you put. And hey, we got illusion versus illusion. This is a fight I want to see. It's pretty cool. He's like, oh, like, you truly, like, turned this into something, did you? It's like, hey, you were going to force us to get sigils. Like, yeah, I work for Bellows. Kind of my job. Now let's make sure you won't be able to do those silly illusions ever again. You know, he's going to be put into the Abomination track. Oh no, he's going to be like Willow. and they're not doing anything. I guess it does kind of make sense if you go back to I Was a Teenage Abomination, where Willow, Luce, and Amity didn't do anything with Luce about that be dissected, but Gus did. But now Gus is the one in danger. So, but it would have been nice if Skara and Viney would have came in, because I definitely knew that Willow and Amity weren't going to go in, because, again, I was the Teenage Abomination. They didn't stick up for Luce when she was about to be killed, but Gus did. Couldn't Skara and Viney would have came in? But I guess Gus's illusion had to come in. Okay, sure. But Gus is like, leave me alone, and I do have to say this. Gus's eyes right here, maybe because it's blue, but I like his eyes here better than Willow's green eyes. I don't know, maybe it's because I prefer the color blue, maybe that's it, but I definitely like it. And Adrian's like, how are you doing this? And you know what? I was mistaken. Someone did stand up for Gus. It was Hunter. And I had to give him some credit, because it probably took him a while to get from the auditorium to here. So it kind of makes sense why Hunter didn't come in immediately when like no one came in, and Gus had to do that big illusion thing, but Hunter came like immediately as soon as he could. I love that, because Amity, Willow, and Scar and Viney weren't going to do anything, so Hunter came in. Love that. He's like, get off. And Adrian, but I guess like a mirror to like control the illusion. And hey, look, it's the because these are a bunch of Gus's memories, and you know, it's like, whoa. And he said, oh, sir, Head Witch Grey, it seems like that kid did put the school under a big, and he's like, illusion. And he's like, oh, the detail, it's excellent. Find the kid, the prodigy that did this. He said, this is a complicated spell. Can we get some direction? And I'm the only one who knows how to do my job. Just figure it out. And he's like, oh, yes, I have the detail. He's like, I hate working for this guy. And I'm just going to leave it, like, right there. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And then we split the plots. I'm just gonna go over the B plots immediately, because I just don't really like it. Basically, we have Amity and Willow together. It's like, oh, like, we need to find Gus, and we need to find everybody. Like, hopefully he's okay. And like, you know, there was a couple of Coven scouts, and Amity was about to protect Willow, but Willow handled it. He's like, oh, hey, I got it. And Willow's Amity's like, oh, good job, good shot, Willow. And like, you know, and Willow just feels like you know, words. Willow's constantly like, Amity, like, she's like underestimating me, because Willow wants to be treated like equal, and Amity's treating her like you are my little friend, and I need to protect you from the world, because you're not ready to face the world, so I need to protect you. So that's Amity's viewpoint, because that's how it was when they were little. But Amity needs to realize is that everyone has their own strengths, so when Willow can handle something, Willow can handle it. And if she doesn't need Amity for something, she doesn't need Amity for something. But there was like something I didn't like, where the coven scout saying, "Oh, don't listen to the blight girl. You totally got me." Thank you for being supportive, I guess. Because if you're trying to show that he's a nice guy, why are you working for Bellows? Who knows? So Will was like, oh, okay, thanks, I guess. And basically they run to more guards, and Amity's, Will's like, oh, don't worry, I got this. I can handle the guards. And then Amity's like, no, I got this. And then Amity and Will are arguing with each other. What are you doing? And then Amity's like, I just got you back as a friend. Let me protect you. Because she's like, I didn't protect you the right way when my parents said I couldn't be your friend. I didn't defend you. I didn't protect you. Now she wants to do it constantly. And then Willow basically says, like, I don't need your protection. I need you to see who I truly am. Like, and a lot of people want that, right? Like, you know, when someone underestimates you and you know you can do something, you want to prove it. You want to show your friends that, like, I am worthy. I can do it. And I don't need you to be my babysitter. And so, like, you know, Willow lifts the bookcase and her eyes glow green. I thought something bad was going to happen to Amity, because usually not good things happen when her eyes glow green. So I thought something bad was going to happen, but Willow has everything under control. That's pretty good. And Principal Bum grabs Amity and Willow into the hospital wing, so the Coven Scouts don't find them. Cool. Now that B plot's finished, well, yeah, that was the B plot finished. Basically saying, like, they got it resolved. I would say this, like, multi-episode arc. It got resolved, like, within minutes. I didn't really like it, because it was like a setup where Amity was basically braiding Willow's hair and, like, dyed it a little bit, just like a different color of green in her hair. Willow gave, like, a face kind of saying that things are not fully resolved, which it shouldn't be, because, like, you know, there's still wounds and scars that need to be healed. Well, not need to be healed, but they could be healed, but it takes time. So I was kind of suspecting this is going to be happen, but one, I did not expect it was to be this episode, and also I didn't expect it to be resolved in this episode. So, you know. But I guess time, and I know, you know, season 3 was cut short, and I get they had to rewrite stuff in season 2, but still, it feels like a little cheap. It is a little bit. Again, make it a multi-episode arc, and if you can't, you can't. But anyway, now we're done with that B plot. We're gonna go back to the A plot, where you know, the delusion finally settles, because there was a bunch of illusions kind of floating around. Back to one, and it looks like they are in the locker hall, with a bunch of lockers. And Hunter's like, "Oh, Gus, you okay? Oh, like, is your eye okay?" And basically, Gus has one blue eye. It looks pretty cool. He has one blue eye and one regular eye. I like it. And he's like, "Oh, is your eye okay?" "Oh, yeah, but it's just my spell is still up. I thought that once I calm down, like, the spell would, like, you know, turn off." He's like, "Well, you're a witch. Why don't you just unspell it?" Like, oh, it doesn't work like that. And, you know, Hunter's like, "Well, we should keep moving, right?" And Gus like, "Oh, I guess, but hey, I just wanted to thank you for saving me back there." "Oh, it's not a big deal." "Well, I think it kind of is, because head witch Adrian Gray was gonna put me into a coven, and you were gonna do the same thing. You remember back in any sport in a storm, that episode. Like, you were gonna allow us to get sigils, but now you're protecting me from one. Like, what's going on? You keep on going back and forth on me. Like, I was kind of suspicious of you. Then I thought you were a good guy, and then I felt betrayed. But then you saved us, and now I'm finding you at school, and now you're saving me from the head witch. But I didn't fully know what's going on. Now you're living here in Hexside. What's going on with you?" There's like a bunch of stuff going on. Gus doesn't understand, and Hunter doesn't want to fully reveal, because he went through a lot, would figure out he was the GrimWalker and stuff. He needs to find out who he is. Like, you know, he doesn't want to fully explain things to Gus. I think he would totally explain things with Luce, because he has more of a connection with her. But I think it's slowly warming up to Gus now. And basically saying that, like, oh, like, just, like, don't worry about it. And Gus is like, oh, okay, but I guess we should keep moving. And Hunter's like, are these real steps, illusion steps? And he's like, yep, they're real steps. He, like, fell down. And he's like, oh, then we have some, scouts who, like, corner Gus. And it's like, oh, wait, are you the Golden Guard? Hey, we're on the same side. Why are you fighting us? Why are you protecting this kid? The Agent Gray wants to get this kid. We should work together. And oh, Bellos is looking for you. He's been worried sick, and you just see Hunter's kind of having an internal panic attack. He's saying, like, oh, no. And then he's he doesn't know what to say. And then Gus does, like, a fire glyph with Abomination Goop, and poof, exploded. And then Gus grabs Hunter. Now it's time for Gus to save Hunter. I love that parallel. And then they go to an illusion that looks like Gus's room. Oh, pretty cool. And Hunter's like, oh, you saved me. He's like, yeah, you saved me. And you also saved us from getting sigils from, Darius. You're the head witch of the Abomination Coven. You saved us then too. So I know you are a good guy. And you're just kind of messed up. And he's like, oh, hey, did you leave the Emperor's Coven? Like, are you no longer the head witch there? And he's like, he nods, like, yeah. And he's like, why? Because Gus wants answers. There's just a bunch of stuff going on. The day Unity's going to meet in a few days. There's more questions than answers. And Hunter he's opening his mouth, but nothing comes up. And he's going, And then Gus like, hey, I had trouble, opening up to people too. So I get it. It may not seem like that right now, but I do get it. And hey, people, oh wait, no, I can't believe I almost forgot about this. I can't, I screwed the picture. I can't believe I forgot. Basically, after they, Gus grabbed Hunter, put him in an illusion of his room to escape the guards, basically. Basically, Hunter was kind of having, like, a panic attack. Like, I gotta run. I can't go back. Like, what am I gonna do? And then, Gus would say, hey, try this. Like, the breathing technique of counting to 3. And then, it calmed Hunter down. And I thought that was super cool that he did that. And that's when Gus says, like, hey, like, did you leave the Emperor's Coven? So the whole part of Hunter saying, "Gus, you saved me." That part didn't happen. Like them talking about it didn't happen. So sorry, I kind of messed up that part. But basically, Hunter saying that, like, oh, like, you talking about people being there for you, like, stop being foolish. Because Hunter hasn't really experienced that, and Gus like, okay, tough guy, come on, we should get out of here, right? And Hunter's just kind of taking a look of different photos, and we see Matt's birthday and Willow's birthday. So Matt's like 13, 14, and Willow's, what should we say, 15? Because she was 14 in season 1, so she's 15 now, right? I would say she's like 15. Okay. What happens next? Right, so they leave basically, and they're kind of looking for the others. So because Hunter's priority is to get Gus safe, to back with his friends. That's his priority. And they're kind of walking, and then Willow's here. So okay, so Willow must have escaped, but I'm like, where's Amity? And where's Edric and Emma? Because when they pulled the illusion and Principal Bump brought Amity Willow in, we saw Edric and Emma also. So when they go with Willow, with Amity, it's like, what's going on? This whole thing's illusion. We're covering an illusion, so I'm kind of thinking, should we trust this? Should we not trust this? Like, who knows? But because like I like this where Gus immediately hugs Willow and Hunter kind of blushes, so slightly. So like, okay, Hunter's a little crush on Willow. That's cute. And and she actually called Gus like Augustus. I was like, oh, she hasn't called him that in a while. Like not until Luce gave Gus his nickname. Like, oh hey, we have an Augustus. We called him Gus, and Gus like, oh call me that, call me Gus. And then Will's like, okay sure. So then she called him Gus from now on. And basically, kind of something's off because Willow's like, all these illusions are they're scaring me. I'm like, none of these illusions are scary. I would say Willow would probably be afraid of the illusion that Gus did to, what was her name? The construction girl, Bria. When we were in this real place, not the illusion, but this real graveyard right here. With the statues, with Bria. Remember that terrifying illusion? I can see Willow being probably afraid of that if Gus will like times it by 10. I think Willow will be kind of afraid of that. But these illusions, they're not being afraid. They're probably like jarring because they're kind of moving really fast, but I wouldn't say they're terrifying. Not in the slightest. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And even Hunter notices like, so you got staff dashes and even Willow mentioned like, hey, what was he doing here? And it goes like, oh, don't worry, he's on my side. He saved me, I saved him. Like, we're not best friends right now, but we're on the same side. And also, he hasn't showered in a while. He has been living in Hexside. Be nice. Like, even Hunter kind of cleaning himself up. Like, oh, do I smell really that bad? And it basically the Hunter kind of dashes like, who are you? And like it goes like, hey, whoa, hold on, Hunter, wait, hold on, Willow's on our side, and and he basically says that that's not the captain because she's the captain of the flyer derby team. That's pretty cool. Like that's not the captain, and and Willow's like, oh, you're scaring me, Hunter, and it's like, have you seen her play flyer derby? There's no way that she would be afraid of her, afraid of me. And then Gus kind of realizes that too, like and then we get Adrian to get like cut. And he's like, oh, Celine, you're on the nice. It's that director voice and all that hoopla. And it's like oh, like you two. Like you are in big trouble. And more Coven Scouts arrive, and then Gray made an illusion of Bells, and obviously Hunter has PTSD, so it's like, oh no, Bells. And then boom, Adrian like kicks him to the ground, stomps on him, and made the illusion disappear a Bells. And basically, man, I'm really losing my voice. I'll get some more later. But basically, we have the Coven Scout starts is that like, okay, just put him to sleep, and they have like a flute, and like they put him to sleep, and Gus basically gets taken away by Gray because Gray wants to use him for something, but we don't know what. And then basically Hunter gets saved by the Flyer Derby team, the Emerald Entrails. Like Prison Bump's like, hey, I don't like it that you're here, Golden Guard, because you're obviously with them, but the Flyer Derby team, they wanted to save you, and I'm glad that Viney and Scarlet go, yeah, we saved you, bud. I love that. I need to spin off with them. Come on, I love their team. Way better than the Grudge Street team. The Grudge Street Sport and the Grudge Street team, I just didn't like it. Flyer Derby team, way better. Love it. And what happens next? I'm not convinced. It's like, well, you gotta believe me. I was with Gus the whole time. I saved him. He saved me. He showed me there was a sandwich, and he showed me this breathing technique, and that was for Willow saying that I can trust him. Is it? Oh, he's telling the truth. Like I know he is because of the breathing technique. Because I showed Gus that, so that I know he's telling the truth. And it's like, because even they're saying maybe we should trade the Golden Guard for Augustus because, he's our student. We should get him back. So we need to come up with a plan. And we have Gus kind of doubting stuff again, like, oh, great job, Gus. You can't even tell between your best friend and an illusion. That's gotta suck, right? Like, you should know your best friend, but it happens sometimes, man. And Adrian's kind of saying, like, oh, these Golder stones. The Emperor's been looking for these bells. and you obviously seen them. Where are they? And also Gus is like, I'm not telling you anything, man. Gus sticks his guns. And he's like, oh, I'm sure that you are gonna allow me access to your memories. He used the illusion mirror to get to the memories. Sorry, excuse me. How does that work? How does a mirror go into memories? Like a mirror? But I'm also thinking, like, what else would be able to do that? But I don't know. I don't think a mirror, I think of memories. I think mirror as reflection, as like a double of yourself, or maybe like a parallel universe, like everything's kind of reversed probably, but not really memories. I think paintings as memories, because they even do that with an episode Understanding Willow and Hollow Mind with like the memory paintings, but not mirrors. Again, like parallel universes, everything reverse, and like a double of yourself, like evil twin or something, or your good twin, depending. But not really memories. I was kind of like, oh, he's using a mirror to get to memories. I don't hate it, but I just see a mirror. When I think mirror, I just think different things. I don't think memories. I'm taking a point off. I don't know. But basically, he is like, no, stop, this hurts. He's like, oh, stop being such a baby. And he's like, stop. And then he does like a huge illusion, and he's actually attacking the head witch. Adrian Gray say, I don't like these memories. Someone made like a joke somewhere saying like, oh, it's like bad like performances or something. I'm assuming it's Bella's torturing him because he did like something bad. Because I think that would make more sense. Not with his character, but with like the show. So anyway, he's like, I don't like this memory, but and we basically say sorry, I was kind of stammering for a little bit. This is where we get to like a hallway fight scene, and it's not really great. I like the characters. I even like Principal Bump with his hair down and his like staff. It looks pretty cool. Even the magic looks cool. Viney and Scar are using puddles. The griffin that Viney owns as a pet. And they're using to fight. Even Amity and Willow are using together, working together of the abominations and plants. That all is good, but it's in a narrow hallway. Because when I think hallway fight scenes, I think like Daredevil, and there's one guy versus a bunch of guys. Not a bunch of people and a bunch of people. Take it outside. Have more room. Have more space. Because once they were kind of running at each other, then they kind of stopped and started firing. And now they're kind of just squished. I don't know. I didn't like it. Again, I like the spells. I like the characters. Just not in the hallway. It didn't work. At least for me, it didn't work. Anyway, so I like Principal Bump with his hair down. Come on, it would have been epic. But, they chose a hallway. But they need to get the guests. So, there was a hallway in the way. Whew. Okay. Basically, Willow, Gus... Willow, Amity, and Hunter, they get past and they go inside the auditorium because they're the closest to Gus. And then they get to they interfere with an abomaton, and then Willow's like, "Hey, you go get Gus, you save him, and we'll deal with the abomaton." And even Amity's like, "I got to talk to my parents about stop making these things. I thought I talked to Dad already about it, but I guess maybe I need to talk to him about it again." So that's probably gonna come up in a few episodes maybe. And basically, Hunter basically is like, "Hey, guys, you okay?" And he touches his illusion, and he just going through a wormhole of memories. He remembers him betraying Willow in the Emerald Entrance, but specifically Willow. He likes her, and it's cute. He remembers of Bellows. Bellows kind of squishing a palace pencil that kind of reminds him of Flapjack. It wasn't Flapjack, but it was like a bird. So he. And him flicking his hair, saying like, "Oh, you're GrimWalker," and everything that happened, and the paintings and stuff like that, and him having the panic attacks. It's just going constantly in his brain. But he shakes it off, and he just shreds through the memories. That's pretty cool. And he goes to Gus, and Gus is basically saying like, why can't I learn? Why I'm not good enough? I can't even trust myself anymore. And Hunter sits next to Gus saying, it's hard when you can't trust yourself. And even when you thought you were doing something good for someone you thought was good, because he truly believed that his uncle was a good man, even though he wasn't a merciful man, and if he has to, he will kill you. But Hunter deep down thought, my uncle is a good man. He's just going through like a rough time or something. But no, he's evil, and Hunter knows that now. And I thought I was doing something good for someone good, but it was a lie. And there's a part of me that still wants to believe in that lie, but because I'm just an idiot, because we're idiots, but it's not true. And even Gus said earlier, he said, I won't mess with you. Hunter says, trust me, I won't mess with you. How did that breathing thing work again? And he's breathing in, but he has a gap in his tooth, inside not his tooth, his teeth, so he's making like a whistle. So he's like, I need water. I'm sorry, I can't do it right. But even Gus is kind of laughing. It's kind of funny. And no, Hunter has a new friend. Hunter has a new friend, but Gus has a new friend. I love it. And they're kind of like brothers in a way. Not full-blown siblings like Hunter and Luce, but they're kind of going to be brothers. I like it. And the illusion goes down. And Agent Gray goes on a hospital bed because he needs time to recover. And the Coven Scout's like, oh, when Emperor Bells gets a whiff of this, and he's like, oh yeah, you'll be pleased to know that you got your butt swept by a bunch of teenagers. He's like, ugh. And there's just one like cat person. They say, I'm going back to the tiny cat coven because I am going through a lot of stress. Okay. That was something. Anyway, what was her name? Serene or something? Who knows? And basically everyone's doing like there was a thing where Amity was kind of giving her respect to Gus, like saying like, oh, like I can't believe you took down an actual coven head. Like that was amazing, Gus. It's oh, thanks, Amity. And it's like, oh hey, is Agent gonna be okay? That's what Hunter's saying. Is it maybe? Because Gus doesn't know the extent of his magic. And they're kind of laughing together. Pretty cool. And everyone's kind of surrounding Hunter. It's Hunter, like, what's going on? You're no longer the Golden Guard. What's going on? What about the Daily Unity? What about Luce? What about the Owl Lady? What's going on? Bellows is evil, is he not? And even Barkus like he barks and there's words, and it says that like we seek the truth. Or even Emerald Edric is saying like, oh, you look kind of sickly, dude, because he has the bags under his eyes and stuff like that because he doesn't get enough sleep. That's why. And like and he's basically saying like, oh, there's like because he basically said that the Day Unity isn't about the Titan. And it isn't about magic. Wait, it's a little bit about magic, but it isn't mainly about magic. It's something worse. And Willow and Amity, they just hold hands because what else are they supposed to do? Because like, what is it? Because Luz only briefly explained like what's going on the Tamagotchi, but she was on a boat, so she couldn't like fully text. And he's like, I'm sorry, like there's just a lot to explain. And Principal Bump's like, well, you better get started because we need to know sooner or later. And that's the end of the episode. 75%. It was a good episode. I didn't like how they resolved the Willow and Amity plot. Gus just gets like a new power just out of nowhere. And I just thought it was special for Willow, and they just gave it to Gus. What else? Oh yeah, that scout that was like saying, oh Willow, oh you totally got me. Like that was kind of, I don't know why he said that. I can't really remember everything else at the moment, but 75, good episode. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna end this because I need to get some water. But everyone. Also, so thank you so much for my 100 and I said it before I said it before in the beginning of the video, but I just was it 123 or I'm forgetting. I'm sorry. Or was it 132? Oh no, sorry, it was 133. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for my 133rd subscribers. I really appreciate you, my new subscribers, my original subscribers, my current subscribers, my original viewers, my current viewers come on and off. I appreciate you guys all so much. Thank you so much. Well, comments below, like for the new person, like what, what convinced you to subscribe to the channel? Was it the Owl House? Was it this? Was it Amphibia? Was it Ultraviolet Black Scorpion? Was it Secrets of Sulphur Springs? Was it a movie review, movie trailer review, reaction? Kind of curious. Anyway, everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to check out my mini reviews and my community posts, and I'll see you guys on slight chance Monday, but Tuesday for my monthly update for February of 2023, and I'll see you guys then for that. Okay. Bye.